Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cozy English A to Z's. I'm Sarah, and I'm here with James.
Hi, everyone.
Today we're talking about travel, and more importantly, how people really use English when they travel. Not perfect English, not academic English, just natural, everyday English that people use when they're tired, curious, excited, confused, or slightly lost in a new place.
Travel is one of the best ways to learn a language because it forces you to communicate. You don't need big words. You don't need long grammar explanations. You need calm, clear sentences that help you understand people and help people understand you. And that's exactly the kind of English we're practicing today. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, Cozy English A to Z's, for more videos like these.
I think many people love the idea of traveling more than the reality of traveling. Planning a trip feels exciting and safe. You look at photos, read reviews, imagine yourself walking through beautiful streets, eating amazing food, and feeling relaxed. Everything works perfectly in your imagination. Then the actual travel day comes, and suddenly you're standing in an airport at 6 in the morning, holding a coffee you didn't really want, wondering why you thought this was a good idea.
I will admit, that has happened to me, Sarah. A very common phrase people use when talking about dreams and travel plans is, I've always wanted to go to, and then the name of the place.
For example, I've always wanted to go to Spain. Or, I've always wanted to visit New York.
This phrase means it's not a new idea. It's something you've been thinking about for a long time. It's a dream or a goal. So, where have you always wanted to go to, Sarah?
Oh, good question. I've always wanted to go to Australia. I hope to get there one day. It's just so far away. How about you, James? Where have you always wanted to go?
I have always wanted to go to Africa on a safari. I'd love to see all of the amazing animals. I think it would be incredible.
Oh, wow. That does sound incredible. Another phrase people often use after a trip is, it was totally worth it.
This means the experience was good, even if parts of it were difficult. You might say, the flight was long, but it was totally worth it. Or, we were tired, but the trip was totally worth it.
Yeah. Even though I had to drive 2 hours to get to Disney World, it was totally worth it.
I can imagine. Let's talk about arriving in a new place, because this is where English learners often feel nervous. When you arrive, you're tired, you may be jet-lagged, and your brain is working more slowly than usual. Jet-lagged means you feel tired or confused because of the time difference between where you were and where you are now. People often say, I'm really jet-lagged, or I'm still jet-lagged. When you're jet-lagged, even simple things can feel difficult.
Ugh, I really don't enjoy being jet-lagged. But who does? I remember arriving in a new city once and feeling very confident at first. I had my bag, my phone, and directions saved. I thought, okay, I'm prepared. That confidence lasted until I tried to find my hotel. I walked into a building that looked correct. It had a front desk. It had people checking in. I smiled and said, "Hi, I have a reservation." The person at the desk looked at the screen, then looked back at me and said, "I don't see your name."
That sentence immediately creates stress.
Instead of panicking, I said, "Oh, that's strange."
That strange is a very useful phrase in English. It's polite, calm, and non-aggressive. It means something unexpected happened, but you're not blaming anyone.
Yeah, and after a short conversation, we realized I was in the wrong hotel. My hotel was across the street. I said, "I'm so sorry," thanked them, and left. That kind of mistake happens more often than people like to admit, especially when traveling.
When you arrive at a hotel, there are a few very useful phrases that can help you feel more confident, like, I have a reservation. I'd like to check in. Or, I'd like to check out.
If there's a problem, you can say, "There seems to be a mistake," or Could you help me with that? These phrases sound polite and professional, and people are usually happy to help when you speak calmly.
Good point, Sarah. Transportation is another area where simple English is very important. When you're trying to find your way around, a very common phrase is, I'm trying to get to, for example, I'm trying to get to the city center, or I'm trying to get to the train station.
You'll also hear and use the question, how long does it take? Like, how long does it take by bus? Or, how long does it take on foot?
Often the answer is not exact. Someone might say, about 10 minutes, which can mean 10 minutes or 30 minutes.
Yep. That's part of travel. Food is one of the most enjoyable parts of traveling, and it's also a great opportunity to practice English. A very natural phrase to use in restaurants is, can you recommend something?
Yes, that's an important one. You might say, can you recommend a local dish? Local means traditional or typical for that place.
And when you decide what to order, you can say, I'll go with that. This phrase is very common and sounds natural. It simply means, I choose this option. So you would say, I'll go with the chicken and rice. When the food arrives, you don't need complicated language to sound fluent. You can say, this is really good, or this is amazing. Simple sentences sound confident and natural.
Yes, I agree, Sarah. Small talk is another important part of traveling. Small talk means short, friendly conversations with people you don't know well. When traveling, people often ask, where are you from? You can answer, I'm from, or I'm originally from. Originally means where you grew up or where you consider home. So I'd say, I'm from the United States.
Another common question is, how long are you staying? You might answer, I'm here for a few days, or I'm staying for a week. These simple exchanges help you connect with people, even if the conversation is short.
Funny moments often happen when you're tired or nervous. I remember once a server said, enjoy your meal. And without thinking, I replied, you too.
This happens to many people, even native speakers. When it happens, the best thing to do is smile, laugh, and move on.
So true. Let's talk about a few useful travel words that you'll hear often. The word crowded means there are many people in one place. For example, the train was crowded, or the market was very crowded.
I can't say I like crowds. I try to avoid crowds, which can make it difficult when exploring new places. The word convenient means something is easy, useful, or close by. For example, the hotel was close to everything, so it was very convenient.
Convenience is very important to keep in mind when you're traveling. Another very common phrase is to get lost. To get lost means you don't know where you are. You might say, I got lost, but I found a nice cafe. Sometimes getting lost leads to unexpected and enjoyable experiences.
Oh, that makes me think of a funny story of when I got lost in Dubai. The mall in Dubai is enormous, the biggest mall I've ever seen. I don't usually get lost, but in this mall, it was inevitable. There was a particular store that I was looking for, and after hours of walking, I just had to give up. But I did enjoy the stores that I came across.
Travel also teaches you patience. Things don't always go according to plan. Trains are late, restaurants are closed, directions are confusing. When this happens, people often say, it is what it is. This phrase means you accept the situation and move on.
You might also hear people say, let's see what happens. This means you don't have a clear plan, and you're open to what comes next. At the end of the day, travel isn't about being perfect. It's about learning, experiencing new places, and collecting stories. Some stories are beautiful, and some are funny. Many of them include small mistakes, confusion, and laughter.
So true. And if you're learning English, listening to conversations like this helps your brain get used to real, natural English. calm English, comfortable English, the kind of English people actually use.
Well, that concludes today's episode, guys. Thank you for spending this time with Cozy English A to Z's. Please subscribe if you found this video helpful, and don't forget to click the like button too. We hope you'll join us for more videos where we can help you on your journey of improving your English in a cozy way.
Relax, keep listening, and keep learning. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys!